So it's nice to be back in the studio after last week's outing to Exeter University. I hope you enjoyed that video, but today we are going to be talking about graduation from a perspective of 1 year later. So a year ago I graduated from the University of York with an economics and finance degree, and I got a 2-1.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
And if you want to see a very cool student hack, stick with this video, it's going to be coming later on. Now, graduation. Firstly, I want to talk about graduation. Everybody right now is getting results, everybody's graduating, and I just wanted to briefly touch on this because obviously I was in a similar position to you guys last year, graduated during COVID, if you're graduating right now that is. Ceremony still postponed, maybe have that next year. But I remember graduating and it was like 3 years, same feeling as A-levels really, like, but A-levels you had more scope to go. Sick, worked super hard, got my grade, 69 point something percent, damn, but I'm happy with it still. And then it just kind of hits you like, that's it, I'm done. There's my grade, there's what I've worked for, what's next? And you can often feel a bit lost during this period. So if you've just graduated, I wouldn't worry at all. Everybody feels like that after graduating, and even I did. I was like, right, I'm done with York, what's next? And the world suddenly got dark around me. And then the sun came out and everybody started going out, so I kind of just forgot about it. But obviously, when you graduate, there's a period where you might feel a bit uncertain. It's normal, roll with it. And congratulations to everybody graduating right now. Big up. If anyone got 69%, big up. Been there, painful. But anyway, let's get back on with the main topic of today's video. I spent 3 years studying for my degree. Obviously, normally that costs £9,250 if you're at a Russell Group University per year. However, because I went to study abroad in my second year, I actually saved £8,000 in tuition fees that year. But normally a degree costs £27,750. Obviously, if you're in the US or you're an international student, it's going to be a lot more. So I decided to do the maths, and I worked out that if that's how much you spent on your degree, every single day you're at university cost you £25.30p. Now, like, if you was to exclude weekends, bank holidays, time spent at home, obviously that number's going to go up. Now, that's a lot of money to be paying, especially because you do most of the work yourself. But today we're going to be talking about, was it worth it? How it feels to graduate, because I know many people right now are graduating, and just a 1 year reflection on studying at university. Now, this will be very useful to those about to graduate, just so you know what to expect. To those who have graduated, you might want to see if you're in the same position as me. And to those still at university, you're gonna have this to come. I always remember when I was studying at university, whenever there was, you know, Bumble on campus, YouTube on campus, naked smoothies on campus, I would always try and take as many smoothies as I could, just so I got better value for money out of my degree. Prime example here, Ben, naked smoothies. But I mean, in all honesty, like, if they're giving them out for free, naked smoothies, obviously meal deal classic, but you've got to collect them. So just before we jump into the reflection, thank you to Yockit for sponsoring today's video. Now, to determine if a degree is actually worth it, I think you have to split it up into 3 different sections. You've got the degree and educational content, then you've got the obviously facilities, activities, etc. at university, and then you've got stage 3, which is the kind of like the postgraduate side of things, the value your degree brought you after you finished university. And that is the phase that I'm currently in with my undergrad degree. Obviously, I'm at drama school doing a master's, soon to finish that, by the way. Time is flying by. So the educational content while at university. Now, I've made plenty of full degree review videos on my channel, one for each year, but my main gripe is that I always feel like we should have got more contact time. And don't get me wrong, economics is nowhere near as bad as, let's say, the likes of history, where contact time for that subject is a scarcity. Like, it's almost, no offense, but laughable how little contact time they get. So when it comes to was your degree worth it based on your lectures alone, I mean, obviously it helps you get a better paying job, but in terms of like content, if you was paying £27,000 just for the lectures, you'd be a bit like, whoa, I don't know if that's good value for money. But then obviously, before we move on to other stuff, you've got stuff like office hours and all of the things surrounding that. And I think the more you kind of use your lecturers, the better value for money your degree becomes. And thinking back to it, like, I tried to use my lecturers as much as I could in external office hours, but obviously you get carried away with activities. Sometimes, you know, they just want to get on with their work. So it's a hard thing to do. So looking back, the educational content, how much do I remember? How much have I retained? For me, obviously, I studied economics and finance. I've used a fair bit of that knowledge within my rationale of investing, and I've made decent profit from investing, nowhere near enough to recoup my cost of tuition fees. but definitely it's made me a better investor. It's made me make a lot more rational decisions in terms of, Skillshare, YouTube, investing, streamlining my making money processes. So I think the educational content has served me well in retaining and gaining other money. But then there's obviously like 85% of the content which, quite frankly, I've just forgotten. So I think that, you get decent educational content and I'm fairly satisfied with it from economics. So this 1 year reflection, despite forgetting a lot of it, I have used specific elements of it. So I think it was worth it. I don't have any gripes about, wow, it's 1 year on, that whole thing was useless. But definitely because I'm not in a grad job, a lot of it is. So checklist 1, the degree, educational content, the 1 year reflection, was it worth it? I think it was worth it. But if you had me on a scale of it being like worth it's here, satisfied here, extremely satisfied, I'm just here. If you gave me more contact hours to really cement the stuff that I was learning, you're going to move me up into the satisfied to extremely satisfied section. Now, next up, obviously, was your degree worth it? You've got the educational side of things, then you've got the facilities, the activities, the sports. Now, this is supposedly where, the value for money comes in. This is what they justify charging a lot of the money for. The library, the subsidized sports centers and pitches, and then obviously you've got great elements like the college sport, college life, sports teams and so on. But don't be fooled, you have to pay for like the sports teams for college. All of that is paid for separately. So it's kind of like how do you and what do you include in the facilities and activities section that your £27,000 goes towards. Now, mainly I think you have to look at resources like the library and study spaces. So when I look back and think, did I get really good value for money out of the facilities? Yeah, I was in the library all of the time. But then again, I think, does that really count for good value for money? Because our home libraries are also free. So at this point, guys, I would like to introduce you to a platform called Yockit, who are the sponsors of today's video. Now, Yockit are a study abroad consultation platform, and these guys do a lot of stuff around the area, around universities, study abroad and so on, and they are the cool student hack I was talking about earlier on. So have you ever thought about studying abroad, but the intense research required before you even start to study abroad or complete the process just breaks your heart? Well, not anymore. This is because of Yockit. It's an online, student-driven community that guides students planning to move abroad for their higher studies. Think of it as a social network for study abroad aspirants. You can connect and seek help from students, representatives, alumni of all of these different international universities. Now, they are not just limited to this, there's also Yockit Premium, which is their paid service where you can get Yockit Premium counselling, wherein a highly experienced and dedicated counsellor will work closely with you till you fly out to your dream university. But yeah, for real, here's the cool hack I was talking about. This one helps you find the right grad school for you. It's done by using Yockit's Grad School Finder. You can see that on screen now. You add in and fill in all of your detail like your English language score, and then the Grad School Finder will be your companion in deciding the universities you should apply to. So if you are still young and planning on the longer term, the Grad School Finder is the perfect way to know where you stand, what grad school program is right for you, what you can do to better your chances of getting into the best universities abroad. Go ahead, have a little go on it, play on. So thank you to Yockit for sponsoring today's video. Check them out, link below. So the fun element, university is definitely worth it, but obviously to make it fun, it's all about what you bring to university. And then obviously the facilities, activities, there's loads of scope for activities, and to be fair to the universities, often societies will get to rent out, university buildings and do cool stuff with them. And the campus, the uptake, the upkeep, fair enough, sometimes it can be expensive. So in my year reflection, when I look back and I think, was it worth it? I can't really tell. I'm going to leave this one with you in the comments. Was it worth the money for activities, facilities, and so on? Because obviously, the reason why I struggle to think, even on the 1 year reflection about was my degree worth it with this, is the fact that you have to pay separately for, college sport, for gym memberships, for sport in general. You have to pay separately for societies. It's not an inclusive thing. Obviously, I guess it's subsidized. So with this video, obviously, I'm a big advocate of university. I always think that, whatever price I had to pay for uni, it was the best 3 years of my life. I would happily pay that. But I'm trying to take on like a neutral perspective and think, right, if this is this and this is free normally, is it worth paying for this? So I'm trying to take on a very neutral perspective 1 year on. Yeah, I had a little change here, but as you know, I'm a very big fan of uni, but I'm trying to take on a neutral perspective just so my personal love and bias for uni doesn't get in the way of making a, you know, a relatively neutral conclusion. And as well, this whole video is guesswork because you don't really know how much of your money goes towards facility and upkeep versus how much is spent on lectures and versus how much is spent on postgrad services, of course. Like, it's a very interesting one. So I'd be keen to see what you guys think in the comments down below. But obviously, being neutral, talking about facilities and stuff, was it worth it? I think if you got all of your sport for free, you got all of the discounted gym, some unis probably do. If you got a few other small perks, I think it would definitely be worth it in terms of element 2 of facilities, activities and so on. Like, for some people it might not have been worth it because, you know, you don't go and get career support, grad scheme support, internship support, which is all available but kind of low key. Like, if everybody went and got all of this support, the unis would be overwhelmed with it. So they rely on not everybody getting it or wanting it. But if you do kind of take up hours with, you know, the careers department, the study abroad people and so on, I guess like I did, it does become a lot worthwhile. So I think really, like, it seems super dull at the time, but if you get stuck in to just anything free that's offered, with hindsight I can say 1 year on, I should have done it more, but it'll be a lot better value for money, trust me. So element 3, the value in postgraduate life. Obviously, I think one of my friends, Nikki, was saying that once you kind of graduate, you're still kind of affiliated with the university. I'm sure they'd help you out, but are you like a member of them for life, or is there some sort of connection there where they're willing to help you? I think as soon as you graduate, that first year, they are definitely willing to help you if you're willing to go to them. Obviously, Zoom meetings right now, you can probably set them up, but it's quite unfeasible to travel often all the way up there for a meeting or such. To be quite frank, I know some people that have really made the most of careers post-university, undergrad, degree, grad. But me personally, obviously I'm in a completely different field, which means that I haven't really used too much of the graduation services that are available to me. So to be honest, again, useless, I can't really comment on that. So there are the 3 elements that I think when you're looking at did you get good value for money, was your degree worth it? They're the 3 elements you kind of break it down into. I'm a big advocate of it. I would say mine definitely was. But from a neutral perspective, every single way you look at it rationally, if money's the main aim of life, then it is rationally worth it, because often your salary from graduating with a degree increases by more than £27,000 throughout your lifetime on average, which makes it worth it. So there's that element of it. But taking a look at the 3 points on there, would I say it's worth it from a neutral perspective? And I think that obviously it depends on your time, the people, etc. But I'm inclined to say, by the skin of his teeth, from a neutral perspective, it is just about worth it from the UK's tuition fee standpoint. But I mean, yeah, it's been 1 year since I graduated. Time has flown by. During that time, obviously, it's been a COVID heavy year. I'm at drama school, so when I graduate, hopefully my career in that respect starts kicking off. I'm moving forward as well, going to be heavily involved in Skillshare, YouTube, making lots of content, investing. The aim is to try and get a house within a year and vlog the whole journey on the channel. So that is kind of where post-graduation, the reflection of, you know, what university did for me, that is kind of where it's left me. Which is, I started uni with this aim, I've ended it with this aim. So they're completely different ends of life. £27,000, was it worth it? Ah, yeah, go on then, why not? So thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. Let me know what your opinion on this is. 1 year since graduation, I just, you know, it's a weird feeling. Yeah, adulthood, baby. I think it's going to be even weirder when I finish uni forever. It's quite a scary prospect. But yeah, Panic Masters, if that's you, get it done. Please don't panic and do one.
All up in my head, that's how I behave. Passing up the same, waking up the same. All up in my head, that's just how I behave.